Eric with Wolfman here, and I'm going to show you all the features on our new tank pannier base. When you get the base, it's in a plastic bag. It consists of two bases and tank straps. These go over the tank, base on each side. There's really no left or right, they're identical. This is a mounting strap and a mounting strap. These are for bottle holsters, and then these are the bag straps to hold the bag up and down. Now there's a bunch of slots, so what we did is, depending on the bike and so on for the best fit, you can take this mounting strap and move it to this slot, and same here, just depending on your bike. I wanted to have some more options. It's very simple. You can just turn the buckle flat and pop it through the slot, pass it through, and make it capture up here. These four slots are actually for the rolly bags themselves or a bottle holster. That's why we have these D-rings, these pairs of D-rings. You can put two bottle holsters here and carry water on the front of the tank. So we're going to do a series of videos. The next is going to be how to get your rolly or zip bar bags set up with webbing and everything to mount to that. We'll do a quick mounting video, and then we'll actually go to bikes and show you how to put them on and some different tips and so on, because we're going to do it on 3 different motorcycles. All right, so follow along. The tank pannier base is designed for our new zip bar bags, the small and medium, or our traditional rolly bags, small and medium, not the large, it's just too big. When you get your rolly bags, you get a package of mounting webbing and 4 elastic keepers. The tool you will need is a long-handled screwdriver, a chopstick, a stick, or the like. We're going to thread the webbing through the back pad of, this is a small, the medium is the same, top and bottom. We're going to use those slots to mount everything. Your bottle holster is a pinch different. You're going to use the slots right under the buckle patch. So, basically, it's real simple. Take a piece of mounting webbing. I like to put this in just a little bit so I can fold over the webbing. I'm going to go in the bottom and just gently push it through. You don't have to use force or anything like that. Pull it through. We'll repeat for the top slot. You'll do this for the same, you do the same operation for small, medium, zip bar, rolly, it doesn't matter. So there we go. Very simple. I like to even the webbing out just a bit, so I kind of can start with knowing the bag will be centered and so on the tank pannier base. So that's it. Real simple, ready to go. So on the tank pannier base, I'm just going to lay this one down off to the side like so. So we've got, let's orient again. Top strap. This is kind of the center strap that keeps the bag up and down. You've got 4 slots that coincide with the D-rings here. And then you have 2 mountings, or another 4 mounting slots, low and high, here. We're going to use these slots here that are parallel with the D-rings. So it's very simple. Set your tank pannier, or excuse me, rolly or zip bar bag on the tank pannier base. Go through the slot. Now is the time, once you've gone through the slot, now is the time to add your elastic keeper. I like these elastic keepers because there's more give to them, if you will. And they don't break, and it allows you with gloves to put them on easier and whatnot. I like these. So we'll go through the elastic keeper. And sometimes I like to slide through the slots. That even makes the bag more stable. So we just go up through the bottom, through these slots, through the buckle. So we go back. We're going to go over this center bar here. So we go back, and then we come forward over that center bar, like so. And when I say back, basically to where the TPU webbing here that holds it on. We go back through the slot, around that bar, and out. So the webbing is under the tab, like that. We're going to go, we can attach our excess through our keeper, like that. Even can fold it over like so. Make a little loop so you can grab it and it's a little quicker. Then take your front, top, and bottom straps that go right through the center of the bag and fasten it like so. You will repeat this operation and this operation for the other tank pannier base on the other side of the tank. The next videos we're going to go through is how to mount this onto your bike and go and etc. And we'll get it all set up for you and show you some tips and whatnot that we've done. So the bottle holster, I'm going to go real quick. We're going to take this assembly off. Take this off real quick. Unfasten this like so. If you wanted to put a bottle holster on, you would do it in pairs, or just if you want one bottle holster, you just go through the slots and center it. If you want two, you will go through the D-rings here and then go through the slots. So you could carry two bottle holsters, just like you would mount a normal rollie. So, neat idea, cool concept. We're going to go and put it on some motorcycles. Cool. I've shown you the layout of the tank pannier base and how to mount a rollie or zip-bar bag to the tank pannier base. So I'm going to go through the layout real quick while I'm next to a bike. You've got front strap, holds the bag this way. You've got your mounting straps. You've got two slots on the bottom and two slots kind of between the bag slots. Bag slots are parallel in line with the D-rings. And then you have your tank straps, which are here, between the two bases. So to put these on, a couple things to think about. If you have a tank bag, take your tank bag off because this your tank bag will sit on the straps. This is a WR250R with a IMS 4.9 gallon tank. So I'm going to throw these on. On this bike, I'll straddle the two tank straps go around the gas cap, so one in front, one back. One of the things you really want to look out for, there's kind of no universal, it's a universal bag, so there's a lot of options in how you want to set these up. But one of the biggest things you want to be careful is you never want to cover up any radiator vents or anything like that. On this bike, you have a single-sided radiator, so one radiator and a vent up here. So you never want to cover that, and that's bad. So, playing around with these is kind of the way you're going to get this to work. So you have an option, kind of our old traditional way when we had just straight tank panniers. You had a front strap and a rear strap. You would mount them front strap to a point on the frame, and the rear strap would go to like a down tube on the frame over here. But they would sit much more vertically. Now we have the option of really kind of getting some angle in them. What's nice about these is you can change the position of the mounting strap basically by just taking your the little buckle here, the metal buckle, and pushing it through the slot. Flatten it out with the webbing and pull it through. And then you can move it to the next slot. And the like. So you can go high and low in 4 different places. So on this bike, what I have found that works really well is on this one side is to go with a low strap here, go with a high strap here, and basically I'm going to point out where I'm going to place all this. Just move that out of the way, there we go. I'm going to take this strap and put it to one of the lower mounts on the radiator down here, but I'm going to attach it to the frame side, and be careful with that. So it'll go from here down to there. Then I'll take the high strap and I can run that through the frame. Then, and only then, I will adjust the tank straps, because then we can play with the how high you want it. This will adjust kind of the fore and aft. Another option which I play with as well. I'm going to undo this strap, and instead I'm going to wrap it around kind of this horn on the bottom. Have it go through the lower hole here and completely remove behind them. There. Have it come back to the buckle. Kind of like so. So you just get a loop of webbing right there. You can attach and slide that around this lobe, if you will. You tighten it up to adjust the height. Like I said, you don't want to cover that. So there, now I just have a loop here. What will determine how well this works is how tight you make your tank straps. So then on the other side, we would do the other side the same way, and that will give us a really nice platform to set our bags on. Now, a couple things to think about when you're putting tank panniers on a smaller bike like this. I'm going to get on the bike and show you what I mean. As you can tell, I'm 5'9". I'm going to hit them. And that's kind of what tank panniers, that's how they work. So I'm going to ride further out with my knees, and that's why I recommend smalls. So you could set it up here. Your knees are going to be wider. That's just how it is. Or you sit further back on the seat. There's really not a ton of adjustment to get these really far forward. Or you can play with it and find out where you like it. The other thing is when you stand up and lean really far forward, you're not going to really, they're not going to intrude in your riding style or anything like that. So it makes it really neat and universal. But there are some issues with tank panniers. So I'm just letting it be known that there are some issues there. So this is an idea here. And I'm going to finish it off. I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to repeat the same process. I kind of like this here, where I just go under that lobe. And then I'll show you one where the tank panniers are on the bike and everything. And then we'll move on. I have a KTM 456 days and a 790. And I'm going to show you how I mounted those on each bike. So I attached a set of Zip R rollies, or Zip R bags, to the base. So now, once the bags are on, it's kind of easy just to get an idea of how it works again. So just think of this as your tank pannier. You have your mounting straps, 2 different heights, and that's it. You have your seat straps, and they're adjustable for width. So on this one again, I went from the lower slot using only one mounting strap, lower slot around the lobe, back through the lower slot and back around. So it kind of is 2 loops. And then using the tank straps, tightened it all up nice. And that's what you get right there. Now there's a couple things. By doing that also makes it kind of a quick release. Undo this strap and then you can pull the bags off if you're going to go into a hotel or that kind of thing. What's nice about the Zip Rs is that you've got bungee there that makes it easy if you're going to do any type of opening the bag and whatnot. Super simple. Refasten this, the center strap, tighten it up, makes the bags nice and bomber. So that's on your WR250R. Let's say you have a traditional style tank, more of a street bike or so on. You will also use 2 straps, kind of like on our old tank panniers. We had a strap in the front and a strap in the rear. You go strap in front, strap in rear. Now we just give you a little high and low just so you can really fine tune that mounting. I'll show you next on a KTM 456 days with an Acerbis tank. Here's the tank pannier base with a Zip R rollie or Zip R bag, small, on a KTM 456 days. It's got an Acerbis large tank, but it uses the stock radiator shrouds and so on. And as you can see, what I've done here is I've gone to the high mark here, come around, and since this bottom slot is open, I've used it and then came back around. So I created a loop so it could go around this point. Then I went to the high point here and went around the frame. So that gives me a nice tidy and lockable, a nice stable spot. I always call them seat straps. The tank straps go here, front and back, and if I put a tin cup or something like that, it's going to go right here, over or under the tin cup, depending on how I set it up. But this gives you an idea. But as you can see, you're going to take up some space in your knees, but it sits far enough forward that you can still ride standing up. Now, there's a couple things you want to know about this, is because the stock radiator shrouds are not very strong. They look pretty, but they're not super strong. So you want to make sure and think about this. You want to, just in case, some ideas to think about. I'm always bringing up the truth, and maybe not everybody wants to hear it, but I'm going to tell you anyway, is impact. If I go down on left or right, look at the impact. It could pull this. So just be aware of that. So we're making it known. But that's the idea. Now, another thing to think about is weight. A lot of people are like, I want to put my tools, I want to put all this stuff in the front, thinking they need to get the weight off the rear end. Well, in this type of setup, it may not be the ideal situation, because let's look at it this way. If you run these horizontal, your tank or the plastic is going to be carrying the weight. It may not be ideal. The more vertical you go with this tank straps, you can carry weight better. So think of that as a tip. All right, so the next bike I'm going to show you is on a 790 Adventure, which is an 890 Adventure, and so on. So stay tuned, and we'll show you another bike. Here's a tank pannier base mounted to a KTM 790 with a zip bar bag in small. And it's the same process for all of them. You kind of have to see where you want to look at your mounting points and so on. And as I explained earlier, a couple things you want to make sure you don't do. You don't want to cover your radiator exhaust vent, so this one does that. I'm using, on the front of the base, I'm using the lowest buckle, lowest point, and I'm going through the radiator shroud here. I'm going to the high point on the back side up here and around the frame. Gives me a nice platform. I've adjusted the I always call them seat straps, the tank straps accordingly, get that height. And so what I like to do is I'll adjust those, and then you snug them down with the two front and rear mounting straps. Kind of snug those down so it gives it nice stability and so on. And I'll show you what they look like with me getting on the bike. Again, I'm 5'9", and I'll show you where they are. So these, because of the size of the bike, you get a lot more room. So I'm 5'9", I like to ride fairly close. So yeah, I'm going to hit the bag with my knee, so I would opt to only use the small. The medium is going to be about so big, but even standing up, I can really lean forward. Yeah, I'll hit them with my thighs, but that's where I'm almost over the front of the bike. Or if you're really long, you're going to have to move back. It's just the way it is. So that's it for showing some different techniques, some tips and so on. One of the other tips I want to show you is doubling back a buckle. And what I mean by that is, on the tank straps, you're going to go through the buckle, but you're going to bring the webbing back through. And I will show you that. Let me think. There. Okay, I will show you that in a sec. One thing I want to show you on the tank pannier base is the two buckles for the tank straps. Okay? You're going to get them, they're going to look like this. And this allows you to adjust them and so on, just up and back. But to lock in the adjustment is basically bring that tail and come back through, like so. That will lock that from moving. Again, you have your tail or your raw end, go over the bar and then back through towards the other side. And that's what you get. You will get this nice locking mechanism, if you will, that makes it so those will never move. All right, so that's it on tips and so on for the tank pannier base. For more information, check us out online at wolfmanluggage.com.